Am I the asshole for telling my wife to mind her own businesses? My wife and I moved to a new neighborhood about 3 years ago with our 2 kids 8-6. Our neighbors across the street have 2 kids 9-7 that our kids quickly became friends with. We would hang out with the parents as well, and my wife became close friends with the mom. The dad and I got along fine, but never got as close as my wife and the mother. Unfortunately, about a year ago, the parents separated and the mom filed for divorce. Apparently, the dad had an affair. The mom moved out as the house was owned by the dad before they got married. She took the kids with her. According to my wife, the mom tried to get full custody of the kids, but the dad asked for and was granted partial custody. So he has the kids 3 weekends a month, the rest of the time they stay with their mom. I've only very briefly talked with the dad about the whole thing, as he obviously feels a lot of shame about the affair and we aren't close enough for me to feel I can ask deep questions about it. The kids all still play together when they can. I noticed my wife would make it a point to make sure our kids invited them over to our house. I also noticed that my wife was asking the neighbor kids some pretty odd and honestly rather intrusive questions about their dad. Like if he has friends over at his house when they are there, what he feeds them, what rules he has at home, do they feel safe there, etc. This past weekend the kids were at our house and stayed over for dinner, and my wife asked the kids if they like hanging out with their dad or mom more. I cut in before the kids could answer and changed the subject to watching a movie after dinner. As my wife and I were cleaning up, I asked her what the hell all the questions are about. She said that her friend is still trying to get full custody of their kids, and she asked my wife if she would keep an eye out for anything that she could use to build the case against the dad. I was shocked. I told her that's none of our business and she needs to stay out of it. I told her it seems like her friend is still upset about the affair and is using that anger as justification to try and take the kids away from their father. I told her that neither of us has ever seen a single thing to indicate that this guy is a bad father. Sure, he had an affair and that makes him a bad husband, but that has zero influence on his ability to be a good loving father. I told her what her friend asked to do her was gross, and the fact that she's going along with it is something that I strongly disagree with. I told her she needs to mind her own business. She said she's just trying to look out for her friend and she's trying to make sure that the kids end up in a situation that is best for them. I told her that essentially spying on our neighbor is not her responsibility and she's definitely in the wrong for asking the kids the kind of questions she is. She feels she's completely justified, but I do not. Not the asshole. Putting the kids in the middle and using them as a weapon to hurt the father is not what is best for them. Even if he is a jerk. Your wife is way out of line. Not the asshole. Using the kids as pawns in a divorce is wrong. And that's what your wife is doing on behalf of her friend. Ask her how she'd feel if someone asked your kids those kinds of questions. Being there for her friend is one thing. But grilling the kids with an agenda of uncovering dirt on their dad should be off the menu. And don't think that the kids won't notice the odd questions and eventually say something to their dad about it. Your wife's friend may just find that it all backfires directly on her and affects her custody situation in a negative way. Not the asshole. This seems extremely vindictive and kids should not be exploited like this. Not the asshole. Your wife's behavior is creepy and invasive, and it's affecting your relationship. I know it wouldn't want to be married to a person who behaved like this. It would definitely impact my affection and respect for them. You're right. As much as I hate to say it, because I despise people who have affairs, if the dad is not abusive, and it sounds like he isn't, both your wife and his ex-wife need to stop this crap, ASAP. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'd be even more blunt and tell your wife that she's being that creepy, nosy neighbor that no one likes and everyone jokes about avoiding. Also that she is being so blatant about her spying that the kids will likely tell their dad she makes them uncomfortable and giving him ammunition to take his ex to court for attempting parental alienation. Not the asshole, but that makes me feel like your wife would be very vindictive in a divorce. Yeah, cheating is 100 wrong. Her actions are a separate thing though. Wow, not the asshole. Please tell your wife that those kids have enough stress. Let them enjoy your kids as friends. Not the asshole. The ex-wife weaponized your wife's relationship with her kids. This looks like wife's friend is trying to alienate the kids from the father using the legal system. Which could be illegal, depends on state or provincial laws. Not a lawyer, but could also be conspiracy to commit parental alienation, which might include your wife. I would sit down and talk with your wife about how you feel, and about the potential of this being illegal, might want to verify beforehand, and how it could affect your family. For yourself, if she is willing to go this far for a vindictive friend, what would she be willing to do if you two split up? Definitely a red flag. Not the asshole at all. This sounds super sketchy. Not the asshole. It's not your place to be involved in someone else's life like that. They need to come to terms with their own lives, and it's grotesque how she is involving you and yours in this mess she is going on with her ex-husband. And to use the children as a weapon like that is downright shameful. That's right, she's using her kids as weapons against her ex-husband. Not the asshole. Your wife is. Not the asshole. It's one thing for your wife to make sure the children feel safe, but quite another to be meddling in other adults' relationship issues. She needs to mind her own businesses. Not the asshole. Your wife is doing more than spying. She is contributing to parental alienation, and the dad would be within his rights to seek a court order barring contact between the kids and your wife. I also agree with you and not your wife that the divorce, being resolved, has nothing to do with custody or visitation. Not the asshole. And if your wife can't be trusted not to act as a spy and even influence those kids, and she won't stop interacting with them because of the playdates, then you should at least inform the father. Imagine if the kids find out later that something they thought was an innocent answer to a question was used to keep their father from them. That could really mess with them mentally. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Warn the dad. And tell your wife you will warn the dad. Jesus, this is mind-blowing. You're 100 not the asshole. Your wife is way out of order here. I hope you show her this post she realizes how fucked up this is. Not the asshole. Some questions on how things are going is fine, and obviously taking notice of anything that does go wrong and reporting to the mom is fine, but don't go looking for dirt. But understandable positions on all sides. Not the asshole. Wife needs to keep out of it. In a relationship, it takes 2 yes answers for a yes, 1 no for a no. You gave your wife a no. It ends now. Not the asshole. Keeping an eye out for anything her friend could use is not the same as interrogating the children. Which is a completely ridiculous thing to do anyway, because, come on, as if their mother hasn't already asked them all those questions. Divorce 101, do not bring the kids into it. Right now the most dangerous place for those kids to be is your house. Keep them away from your wife. This is inappropriate on so many levels. If I was the father of those kids, I would never let them into your house again. This is so destructive and damaging. She is discussing adult content with children. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your wife can have this kind of talk with the mom. But absolutely not with the kids. Absolutely not. Kids aren't idiots. If some old lady was asking me questions like this when I was a kid, it would make me really uncomfortable. Your wife is being a jerk and putting your children's friends in a terrible position when they're supposed to be, you know, enjoying time with their friends away from the drama of their obviously strained home life. You're not the asshole. Your wife is a piece of work. Not the asshole can't stand cheaters, but what your wife is doing is wrong, plain and